The Trilogy Podcast with Vin and Scott. 3 movies, 2 men, 1 podcast.
Vin, you must look at words and you break them down and you can see the roots and where the word comes from. Give me a word. Go ahead, any word.
Okay, Scott, how about trilogy?
Trilogy. Good word. Yes. Trilogy is, of course, you have try, as in try to make a better movie. Low, as in low amount of laughter in the cinema. And G, as in gee, I wish I didn't watch that movie. And then you put that together, and what do you got?
The Trilogy Podcast, the only podcast in the universe devoted strictly to trilogies. No reboot, no straight to cable. We're bringing you facts, debate, trivia, and more. To hell with the movie if they made for. All right, Scott.
And of course, cast
no.
someone else.
Please don't.
In the movie. Okay, sorry.
Come on.
All right, we're
All
done
right.
with that.
I'm Vin.
I'm Scott.
We're the Trilogy Podcast. I don't know whether Scott's brilliant accent kind of gave you a clue as to what we're doing this time around. Well, why don't you tell us, Scotty?
Yes, and it's not Triumph the Insult comic dog. It's the My Big Fat Greek Wedding Trilogy.
The My Big Fat Greek Wedding Trilogy. Boy, coming off of our last episode, which was, Wolverine Trilogy,
Right.
which was pretty heavy, a lot of weight, a lot of action.
Yeah.
We needed to just kind of unwind with the comedy, I think.
Yeah, it was a little too much machismo, you
Yeah,
know? I think
yeah.
we needed to, really get sentimental.
Yeah, and I mean, no offense to the Greeks out there, but this is not a very machismo-ridden movie, despite its Greek ethnicity. It really isn't,
no.
It's basically from the point of view of a female Greek woman. But you know what? It fits this time of year because we're right now in the sweet spot of the year between Valentine's Day, and this is a love story at its core, a romantic comedy. We've got Greek Independence Day coming up very soon. And finally, the thing that I almost forgot when I was writing this, I'm getting married this year.
Yes, that's
After
true.
28 years with the lovely Amy, whose voice you hear doing our ID at the beginning of every podcast episode.
Yes.
We're finally tying the knot, as it were. So it's a relevant podcast episode for us, I think.
Yes.
All right. So we want to unwind and relax with something that we can laugh at. Well, try and laugh at. But you know what? Until this movie, Scott, I didn't really know very much about Greek culture at all, and I certainly hadn't seen it in any movies or in pop culture.
Yeah.
We see the Italian American culture in
Right.
every mob movie, in The Sopranos, that kind of thing. Maybe the Irish culture in certain films.
Yeah.
Of course, the African American culture, but Greek, not really.
Yeah.
You got your Get Him to the Greek,
Sure.
your Zorba the Greek,
Sure.
and Greece, which I don't know that
Almost
any of them.
none of those are Greek.
I don't think
Yeah.
anyone in Greece is actually Greek. The spelling is different. Doesn't matter.
Travoltalopoulos?
So we're going to learn a lot in this episode. We're going to learn a lot through this trilogy.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it, okay? And let's reach out to Trilogy Bot, our robotic friend who, in every single episode, tells us exactly what category this particular trilogy or that particular trilogy is going to fall into. All right? This is a pretty obvious one. Trilogy Bot, angry, miserable, but accurate. Here he is.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding is a Gangs All Here trilogy. These trilogies are defined by large ensemble casts, whose adventures we track over the course of 3 films. Like Scott, Vin, and the 6 fucking people that listen to this shit.
He gets more and more insulting in every episode. But he's right. All right, this is a Gangs All Here trilogy. It's really, truly the definition of an ensemble film.
Yeah.
Okay? While it's centered around Nia Vardalos, she's not really strong enough to make it an Army of One film.
No.
Army of One, if the focus is on the My part of the title. Two to Tango, if the focus is on the wedding part of the title.
Yeah.
This is a Gangs All Here because the focus is on the Greek part of the title.
Right. I think they even show in the first movie, they have the title says My Wedding, and then Big Fat Greek comes in the middle of it, and it just gets in the way and keeps just bit after bit, interrupting this wedding.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's not like we're eager to get to the wedding.
Well, we know the wedding means it's gonna be over, so I was.
That's
a
true.
little bit excited.
I was a bit excited
Yeah, I was
myself
like,
every
throw that
single
bouquet,
time.
let's
Please,
go.
let's do it. Or whatever cultural thing that
Right,
I've never seen before.
Throw the souvlaki. Whatever
Exactly.
You have to do.
Smack someone in the face with a piece of spanakopita. Whatever
Yeah.
you do. Scott, why don't you jump right into the thing you do at this part of the podcast?
The thing I
Yeah,
do.
you just kind of you do your plots, and it's unadulterated, ungarnished, unadorned, Unlike a wedding, you just get right to it with no special
Yeah.
frills and bouquets. So just jump right into it.
Okay, all right.
All right, just jump right into it.
Well, don't rush me. I don't want
my
to
bad.
ease into it here.
My
you
bad.
know, I wanna-
Opa.
Just kidding. You're right. Opa.
Opa!
Scott. It floods. It's Scott. It floods. It's Scott. Scott, you will learn about the plot when you're sitting down with Scott. Yeah, he'll tell you about a lot. Yay!
All right, that was lovely, and it really got me in the spirit.
Yeah.
Or it took me out of the spirit. Either thing.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be feeling right now. All right, it is time for Scott's Plots. I'll give you a quick bare bones description, no character names, no details, just give you an idea, quick synopsis of what happened in the movie in case it's been a while since you've seen it or you've never seen it and you just want to hear me talk.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so of course we'll start it all off with My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
2002.
A Greek woman is in a rut and sick of her overbearing traditional Greek family pressuring her to get married. So she goes to college to learn about computers.
And they really start it with her being just drab as hell. They really play up her ugliness
Yeah.
early on.
Right?
And we have the early flashbacks to kind of show it. And right off the bat, you can tell that it's constructed from some kind of a play, a monologue. Like it reads that way, it plays that
Yeah,
way, right?
yeah.
And we meet her parents kind of for the first time, her family. And I'm going to say this throughout this episode. These people are fanatics. I don't believe that they're just ethnically Greek, traditional people. I think they're fanatics.
Yeah. Later, the Greek woman falls in love with a non-Greek man and they get engaged, much to the chagrin of her traditional Greek family.
They have that bit where different suitors they're setting her up with that just
Yeah.
play like look how disgusting Greek men are.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? It's like
it's so self-deprecating.
it truly is.
Yeah.
At this point, she meets John Corbett at the travel agency. She starts working at the travel agency,
Yeah.
and it's really weird because he's like walking by the window to look at her. He doesn't realize that he met her in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And in my mind, they're right next to each other, the travel agency and the restaurant. She's like, "You don't remember who I am?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" And it's like, it's next door.
Yeah.
Well, didn't this just happen?
Yeah. I failed to see really the need for that first scene when he comes into the restaurant at all.
Well, it's all set up for the family. Look
Yeah.
at this crazy restaurant.
The main plot is going to be getting over the hump of marrying a non-Greek person, but instead we have to first deal with this problem that women can't learn things.
Yeah. Can't
like-
be educated at all.
Yeah, it just feels like it's like this is like a little prologue to the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the movie is not set up like fucking Memento.
Right.
It's not very intricate, for God's sake.
no.
But during this point in time, there's like an unrealistic amount of pain going on with her family, and they really lay it on thick, like it's a real crisis to them.
Yeah.
She can't untangle it. Oh, what do I do? Like emotionally reacting
Yeah.
to it, not like "fuck you, Dad, I met a guy."
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's sad. The music swells as always.
Yeah. The conflict is sort of imagined and anytime it comes up, like everyone just has to be upset for a while
Yeah.
before they can begrudgingly accept
and then
whatever it is.
They kind of promptly get over it.
Yeah.
From maybe a conversation happens, and the father's like, "I
No
made
daughter of
them."
mine will marry.
Right.
Oh, I met him for 10 seconds. He seems
Oh.
fine. During the process of planning the wedding, there are many Greek hijinks, and the traditional Greek family begrudgingly begins to accept the non-Greek man.
Before they get married, one of the last things that happens is that he's baptized into the Greek church, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't you have to take a class for that or something? I was baptized into like a regular Baptist church, and I had to go to Sunday school for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
George Costanza had to pass a test before he got into the Latvian Orthodox.
Well, it's different rules. Yeah.
I guess, but you'd think, what are they, not serious, the Greek Orthodox? You smear some oil on them, throw them in a kiddie pool? You're part of the religion?
I think so,
I mean, it seems like that's it.
Lather them in olive oil and good to go.
A little side note that's going on throughout this, remember, is that the son also has aspirations to be an artist. His family's ruining. They don't
Yeah.
care about it at all because
Oh, yeah.
no one cares. 5 times he's like, "Dad, look at the menus I made with my
the
art
art."
skills."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're wasting your time. Whatever.
They don't do it very tactfully, but I think what they're trying to show is like that double standard of like they don't really care what he does. He
Yeah.
can do whatever he wants, but also to that they don't care what he does.
Right,
Like,
exactly,
you know what I mean?
exactly. Whereas
they
they're-
fret over her,
wait.
which means that she gets no freedom, but they also don't really care what he does with his life. The Greek woman and the non-Greek man get married, and 6 years later they have a daughter and are living next door to the traditional Greek family.
And that's all you got, right?
That's it. Yeah. I wasn't going to comment on every scene of Greek hijinks.
I just want to say this, though. You got them meeting his in-laws, which is probably one of the better scenes in the movie. And it made me think of, since they're like, that's Nicky and Nicholas and Nicky and Nicky. It reminded me of Goodfellas, where everyone's named Peter or Paul.
Right. Yeah,
and we're going to find throughout all these movies that this could very well be a story about a crazy Italian family or a crazy Jewish family. There's very little difference.
Yeah. That's why it feels like they really had to pick the most outlandish parts of it, like the Windex thing, But I mean, everybody's got something like that, like rub dirt in it, or,
The African Americans, it's always like Robitussin.
What was the old,
Give it some Robitussin.
Rub some tussin in it. Chris Rock.
It's Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at the reception, at the end of it all, the father learns his lesson. We're all fruit is his little speech, and everyone's spitting on each other.
Yeah.
And then fast forward 6 years, she's not advanced herself really at all. So yeah, okay. She married the guy, but like she lives next door.
Right.
She's a homemaker. This movie likes to pretend that it's about strong and independent women, but it really isn't.
No.
It's really about them kind of shrugging their shoulders and saying, well, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I guess the message is that she realizes that like she does care about them and kind of needs to insert herself and be part of, like, she's just as bad as them, but doesn't really realize it, kind of thing.
But we never doubt that she loves her family.
The beginning is sort of like, I want to go my own way kind of thing. Like, and then she just learns about computers and then comes back and works at the family business.
Works for them.
Yeah.
Right. So either way, no matter what, all the advancing.
She's not asking all that much. She just wanted to learn how a computer works. Like,
all the advancement she does is in service of their lunatic world anyway.
Right.
So she can make them better lunatics.
Right. Yeah.
So
basically,
we'll talk more about how insane it is that it was as popular as it became.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've said this before about some of the movies we've done. It's just a fart in the wind. Nothing really goes on. There's nothing to it. It's a series of set pieces. So if you can stomach the idea that the movie is strictly a service to these set pieces and this eventual wedding, okay, well, there have been stupider movies before. But I was reminded of one of the trilogies we did in the last year, Tie a Yellow Ribbon, the second of the Cavalry trilogy, the John Wayne movie. Couldn't be more different, of course, but it's the kind of movie where at the end you're looking at the screen going, that's it? Like, what happened here?
Yeah.
I feel like this could have just been a conversation I was having with a stranger for an hour and a half.
Yeah. This movie could have been an email.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, moving right along to My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
2016.
Many years later, the Greek woman and the non-Greek man's daughter is now applying to colleges far away from the traditional Greek family. Meanwhile, while looking through old records, the Greek woman's dad finds out that due to an error on their marriage license, he and the Greek woman's mother were never technically married.
Which we know is a setup for another wedding, obviously.
Sure.
The instant he pulls this out and says, we were never married, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's what the wedding means in this one, right?
So they begin planning a wedding with the help of the whole traditional Greek family.
And so there you have it. The movie quickly establishes two plots they juggle back and forth.
Yeah.
The daughter, Paris's quest to decide which college she wants to go to, NYU or Northwestern, move away or not, okay? Right. And then this whole thing where she's like, I want you to propose. And he's like, I don't need to propose. And it's like, you're two fucking nutcases. Like, this doesn't, what are you doing?
They're doing it to lengthen the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's all, like, it makes no sense. Like, he is stubborn and won't propose. Like, well, he did it once, right? Like, what's the fucking...
Lainie Kazan, her emotions fly all around in this movie. At first, she's laughing, ha, 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 this is so silly. The next moment, she's like, I want to be single for a while. He needs to propose to me. So there's
to play the field.
Yeah, and so no wonder he's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm confused.
Yeah. This big proposal finally takes place when Papa falls in the tub and his genitals impact the whole neighborhood.
Oh my God.
And so scene. Ambulances are coming. He's yelling the proposal on the outside.
Yeah.
And then Nia gives it to the neighbors. And it's like, they have every right to wonder what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah.
People just want to be left alone when they're at home.
Right. Yeah.
People yelling about their fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Across the street.
To a level, I get it, of like, you're standing on my driveway looking at my father being carried out of here.
So.
Like, have some class. Like, what are you doing? But it's just like, it seems like so not the time to have that confrontation.
And suddenly she's so like strong about it. It's like, ooh, again, music swells. Ooh, she really says what needed to be said.
She's a strong woman.
It's never been established that this was really a problem in town. And suddenly everyone's taking it to heart.
They started a club of blonde Karens who just watched the Greek folk.
all those blondes that live in ethnic Chicago
Yeah.
that are everywhere.
Despite more Greek hijinks, the Greek woman's dad and mom get remarried. The Greek woman and the non-Greek man rekindle their marriage, and the Greek woman's daughter goes to college. That's it.
There's a great scene here that has to do with the plot where her and John Corbett are like, whatever, in the living room. You know, he brings out like a serious problem with their marriage. He's like, we don't have a marriage. It's all about your family. And
Yeah.
like, we don't have a good marriage. And his concerns are immediately ignored in favor of her parents' false wedding crisis.
Yeah.
Immediately. It's like, oh no, the wedding planner dropped out. What are we going to do? And again, what he does for the whole movie, he shrugs his shoulders and goes along with it.
Yeah.
But like, he had a real concern there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So once the wedding planner drops out, which was just a contrivance anyway,
I know.
that's when the family's got to throw together the whole wedding. Blah,
Just
blah,
another
blah.
way to
It's
show
like-
how crazy they are.
Yeah, and you've got Paris, whose prom is the same day as the wedding. What prom takes place in the middle of the day and not at night? And she winds up deciding to go, which was a surprise to me. I thought she was definitely going to stay in Chicago. Like, I love my family. I'll
Yeah,
stay.
right.
But when she went to NYU, frankly, I thought that was at least something.
Right.
I mean, at least something about her female independence.
Well, I thought she was until, we're about 30 minutes before the movie's going to end, and she's like, I'm going to stay in Chicago. I'm like, I bet she's not by the end now
Yeah.
because there's still time on the clock here.
And then you've got that little bit where Mark Margulies shows up. You know,
Yeah,
the guy
yeah.
from like Breaking Bad and
Fucking Hector Salamanca.
yeah, I mean, he's
Yeah.
always been sort of non-specifically ethnic, so we believe that he could be some Greek guy. He's a different ethnicity in
But
every
I think
movie.
he is Greek.
But again, they just throw these little plot bits in, like the brother shows up. They're trying to
Yeah.
make some kind of point about being an immigrant. They're trying to create some thematic point there, and
It's nothing.
it's nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
They throw it away in 1 second. Oh well.
That's why I was kind of excited when I was like, oh, they got Mark Margulies. Like, I guess that you're going like, what other Greek actors are there?
But yeah, a bunch of little plot-related things kind of go on during the wedding, and you think, oh, this will be a crisis, and it never really amounts to very much at all. The father is drunk, and so the mother skitters into the back and again makes some kind of statement about like having an adventure in your life versus being a homemaker. At this
Yeah.
point, we don't care. We don't know what she's talking about.
Well, at the end of it, she's like, I guess my adventure was to make a family. And I was like, the way you said that was just the saddest fucking
Yeah.
thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, because you're kind of making the point of like, why did I get married and do all this? Like, whatever, which is,
It's fine.
common thing that people think. It
Sure.
happens in movies all the time. Oh, I should have done this and I gave up my life for this. But she does it all so quick
Yeah.
in like one scene. Like,
It's not a genuine crisis.
and
It's
every
half-assed.
conflict is not a real conflict. So it's sort of dealt with very quickly.
We've talked about it when
and
we
it's like little conflict dealt with, little conflict dealt with.
Right. We've talked about this when we've done kind of comedies before, in that any good comedy has got poignancy in it too. It's making a point. The comedy
Right.
is making a point, right? But in these movies, they don't just let the point be made through the comedy. They have to outline it with these serious scenes and swelling music, and they have to knock us over the head with it. And I just think that she's a poor writer. I just think it's half-assedly written.
Yeah, she's not a good writer.
You
Her,
know,
her dialogue is brutal.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of the barbershop movies in a weird thematic way.
Yeah,
Of like,
okay.
The scenes are kind of the same. You have like the inner conflicts that are sort of like stereotype conflicts. Oh, a typical white guy versus Greek
Yeah.
family. And then,
Good.
barbershop, you have the young white kid who's thuggish and
Culture clash type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it makes sense.
and it's a whole movie of like, in a way, barbershop is trying to make the point that they're a family. They're a sort of chosen family,
Right,
right? In the
right.
neighborhood. And yeah.
It's doing a similar
it
thing
felt
here.
the same. in
Yeah,
that
this
way.
isn't anything new. It's not like
Yeah.
she's creating a new type of a movie. The only
No,
thing that's
no,
new
no.
about it is that it's Greek. And then the last little plot point I want to... the father sobers up in 5 seconds. They get married. Okay.
Yeah.
And Nia and Corbett have their own wedding ceremony, like in the apse of the church in the back.
Yeah.
And will you marry me now? He's like, yeah, okay. And they mimic the wedding ceremonies that's going along, which
Yeah.
is just self-centered garbage. It's not
Right.
about you. It's not about her. You know what I mean? It just feels like it needs to be recentered upon her, and it doesn't.
I get what they're doing of they're both two couples renewing their vows, but it's you're right. It's just so stupid and seems like, aren't you distracting and taking attention away from your
Yeah.
parents getting remarried? Which again is not a real wedding anyway.
No.
Like, so it doesn't really matter, but
To me, it felt sort of manipulative. There was an arrogance to it that turned me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, this was a piece of shit. You can go to the third one whenever you want. I can't,
Absolutely.
kill myself.
Let's move on and get it over with. I mean. And wrapping it all up with My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
2023.
Years later, the Greek woman's dad has died, and honoring a promise that she made him, the Greek woman and the traditional Greek family head to Greece for a reunion to give the Greek woman's dad's journal to his childhood friends.
And the mom breaks down this whole plot in literally the first sentence of the movie.
Yeah.
God forbid we should bother to establish the plot naturally. Mom is just going to tell us what all this is about.
Right. While you're also introducing that she has Alzheimer's.
Right.
So we're like, are we supposed to trust her? Or is she telling,
Exactly.
It's hilarious. So she's like, and what's the rest of the plot, Mom? Keep that exposition coming,
Sure.
Lainey.
We don't really understand the Alzheimer's at all. Like, it's there, but this is a comedy. And now they don't treat it really as a joke, but because it's in a comedy film, we don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
They can't help for it to sound trivial in some way.
I get that Lainey Kazan's playing like she's covering, like being like, oh no, I know.
Yeah.
But it really does come across like she's totally all there.
Yeah.
Like, and they're just kind of imagining this
Yeah.
thing, like, oh well, take her to the home.
Right, and
like,
Nia's just written on a line that occasionally where she's like, "Who are you?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's what it is."
she's totally with it the whole time. That goes, what are we talking about? Like, oh, she's lost her mind. No, I just lost my place in the conversation.
Exactly.
And that happens to people.
Because I'm just
like-
kind of older.
right, yeah.
Frankly,
Like-
till later in the film, I wasn't sure she really had it till they're like, "She has it."
I swear I was waiting the whole time for them to come back and be like, it turns out there was a mix-up. She never had it.
Mom
Like,
is cured. Oppa, no
Oppa!
Alzheimer's.
Like-
No Alzheimer's.
They arrive in Greece and meet the mayor of the village and a woman who used to bang the Greek woman's dad. But the Greek woman's dad's friends have moved away.
And they impose themselves upon poor Paris again by like she goes along with them and they invite like the guy that she dated. Like they're always
Right.
ruining their daughter's life in some way.
Seriously.
Just making her feel terrible, just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like an arranged marriage. They
Right.
literally forced her into it.
Yeah, and we know they're going to get together. It's a movie,
Right,
so we know
sure.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This handsome Greek boy is
I
just
did
there.
find myself going like, how fast are they going to get together? 'Cause
Yeah.
we got to have a wedding by the end of this thing,
Good point.
right? Like,
I mean,
I was
who
waiting
knew?
for it. I was like, who's getting married? Because
Yep, there will be a wedding.
I was like, it seems like they went on a couple of dates and that was it. Like,
And they establish very early once they meet the mayor, whatever that creature is, and they get to town that the town has no water, it has no people. The mayor's got a plan to get people back by doing this reunion, but like it doesn't seem to be working. No one can find the father's friends.
obviously, it's of the 6 people, she's the one who you made the mayor. Like, Obviously, no one really gives a shit. Like,
They say at some point, they say something like, "Where are all the people?" And I'm like, they're not there because this is a movie set. It's not a real town.
right. Yeah.
That's why no one's here.
yeah.
I mean,
We
that's
didn't
how
wanna
it feels.
hire any extras.
That's how it feels.
We hired them for one day for the wedding. At
There's
the end.
literally no one in the background. I get that the town's abandoned, but
Greece is
somebody's
not
there.
doing so well.
Yeah.
Later, the woman who used to bang the Greek woman's dad reveals that she had a child with the Greek woman's dad and introduces their new brother, who introduces his son, who reveals that he is in love with a non-Greek woman, much to the chagrin of his traditional Greek family.
You can't expect anyone to care about this. I wrote 2 new characters are in love. This movie is 45 minutes old, and I feel like I've spent my entire life in this village.
Right? It feels like I think the point of the movie is that we have dementia. We're Lainey Kazan. Like,
I think a lot
I think
of
she
this.
came on the trip and is us.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen, you can say this is about Greek people, but I think it's about how fucked up old people are and
Yeah.
how demented they are. You know what I mean?
controlling young
Yeah,
people's lives.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, my
Like,
grandmother was a hillbilly from the mountains.
Yeah.
No real, no ethnicity that went along with her, but she had all her furniture covered in plastic too. This is just shit old people do.
right?
You know what I
Of
mean?
a certain generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor people that came up with nothing just don't want to fuck this shit up, right?
Right. Meanwhile, the non-Greek man meets a Greek monk who gives him a list of where the Greek woman's dad's friends moved to, and the Greek woman sends her cousins to find him.
Ah, the non-Greek saved the day.
Yeah.
Stupid Ian just talking to a guy on the beach was able to get all the information they needed.
And somehow had no idea what he had in his hand.
Yeah.
Right? Like
He's
he
like,
was
"What is
"Oh,
this?"
Oh.
And there's this big revelatory scene where she's like, "This is the name of the location of all my dad's friends.
While I was wasting time drinking ouzo all over
Yeah,
town,
I mean,
you actually did the fucking thing.
Thank
Like,
you.
yeah.
Go non-Greeks.
And it's supposed to be like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's barely a plot. She can't find her father's friends. Who gives a shit? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Tula has gotten her sister on the phone and the sister's son, Joey Fatone.
Yeah.
And she's like, didn't you go on vacation in Greece last year? Help us find these people. It seems that in the course of one day,
Yeah.
they go to Greece, go to different islands in Greece,
Yeah.
find the people, and get them to the wedding.
Yep.
Because the way they break it down and edit it, like Tula's still fucking just kind of hanging around waiting for something to happen while they're running all over the fucking world.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
the
Can
timeline
you just
here?
run and grab those guys
Yeah.
for me real quick?
Yeah.
We got you. No problem. Why weren't they already in Greece?
Right.
Why didn't they come on the trip if they had the
Fucking
free time? They could
right.
just drop fucking everything.
Thank
and
you.
leave.
And just leave. At some point, they're at a club and they see the one
Yeah.
friend like playing guitar. Well, that's got to be at nighttime. How do you then get there the same day?
Yeah,
I
I
just edited so shittily.
The new brother accepts that his son is in love with a non-Greek woman, and they get married at the reunion. Greek woman's dad's friends show up, and the Greek woman gives them her dad's journal.
So yeah, you got your wedding. Two people we don't care about at all. They're getting married. The marriage is like the marriage in The Godfather, where it's just like people beating a drum and walking around an empty town made of stone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what weddings used to be in the past, I guess.
Right.
Just kind of wandering around.
In The Godfather, it seems more like a funeral. When
Yeah,
they're married.
really. You're right.
This one was a little more joyous.
A little more joyous. But suddenly two Syrians show up and they're banging a drum and it's like, where were her people? What? Suddenly they're there?
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Again,
yeah.
they didn't want to pay them for more than one day.
And these poor old guys show up. And frankly, my favorite tiny 10-second moment of the movie is when they show up and Tula takes out the picture of them as kids and their eyes kind of brighten up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's us when we're kids. They're never seen for the rest of the movie and forgotten about entirely. And that was the whole plot.
It was the whole point.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I read that too.
It
like
pissed me off.
in 2 seconds, she like literally like all you wanted to do was hand it to them.
Yep.
Like it wasn't like talk to them, learn about your father, have a scene. No, we're just gonna cover over it with music and
I know,
then move
more
on to
wedding.
the next thing.
More
Yeah.
wedding.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck off. That was underhanded to me. Like, there are certain bad movies where I'm like, whatever, they're just bad. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
Especially because I feel like you're kind of trained by these movies at this point that, you know, there are like very few small moments that feel honest and
Yep.
real and like a nice family moment where you're like, oh, that was kind of cute. Like,
Yep.
or like that was a kind of
Sure.
a nice moment.
For sure.
And they kind of set it up like this is going to lead to this nice moment and they just sweep it away.
They cop it out.
yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Is that all you have on this?
That's it.
Let me also mention that we resolved the problem of the town not having water because all these fucking people pull one rock away and the water pours into the town, like rejuvenating it and bringing it back to life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I say to myself, the village has water again. And all it took was a family of lunatics from Chicago to come in and move 3 rocks.
Yeah,
And the
right.
village is rejuvenated with energy and love. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, then you can't forget this. You have the son's secret plan to bring his father's ashes over and like make him into a tree or something.
Comes out of nowhere.
Comes
kinda
out
goes
of
nowhere.
Well, we see one scene where he's hiding something, and we're like,
Yeah,
"What the fuck?"
yeah.
The ashes, and we're like, "What?" I just figured he's gonna sprinkle the ashes somewhere, whatever. Then he's like, "I'm gonna use his ashes to make this tree," and
Well, because he
it'll
mentioned
be an olive
the
tree.
tree was like his favorite
Yeah,
tree.
well, he's
right?
looking for the tree, right?
Yeah, yeah.
and no one knows where the
And
tree
then
is.
you realize, like, oh, he's looking for the tree because he's going to scatter the ashes.
Yeah, that's what you figure.
Right,
but
yeah.
instead, he's like, no, I'm gonna use it as potting soil, the ashes, to make another tree or
You're like,
something.
wasn't that going to uproot the tree that's
Yeah,
already
yeah,
there?
where are
Like,
you putting
you
that?
dumb motherfucker? Like,
And then they had that conversation where it's like, who's gonna be the head of the family? You, me, the two of them. I just wrote down.
no decision is made.
I'm so far past giving a shit.
First of all, who cares?
Yeah.
But also, like, they never really make a decision in the scene of who is the head of the family. And I think the idea is that you should know.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
yeah.
you should be like, well, obviously, he's not the head. She's the
He's
head of
the
the
head,
family.
yeah.
But I didn't feel that way at all. I
No.
was like, honestly, it could be either of you fucking
Yeah.
dickheads. Like, it doesn't. And like, you're both terrible.
But you
Like-
can't expect me to care. You
Right,
just
yeah.
can't, you know? And it wraps up by the mayor. She's going to, bring people back to the town by inviting all the migrants of the area to live there,
Yeah.
who we've never seen through any part of the movie,
Nope.
save for the Syrian girl who gets married. I mean, it's really a competition as to which movie sucks more, the second or the third. But the third almost felt insulting to me.
And I think it's probably because she directed it, and it's
Yeah.
sort of like they're like you're right. It keeps going to these scenes where like
Yep.
music swells and they slow motion showing them like, oh, look at that.
She's no
Like,
director. She's no director.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves.
they're like,
you know what I mean?
Like she's literally like, time for you to feel something.
Yeah.
you know.
All right, those were the plots, my friend Scott. Great
Yes.
job. Great. That was an easy one, huh?
Yeah, super easy.
A far cry from something like
Once I decided to cut out all the things that didn't matter, it was really easy.
There was so much that just
Yeah.
didn't matter. I think we did more plot work when we did the fucking Care Bears trilogy, frankly. Okay, so we're on to the next thing, and that's my little part, I guess, right?
Yeah.
What do we
your
call
little
it, Scott?
thing. I think it's called.
This is going to be a quick information. It really is, because there isn't too much history behind these films or anything interesting worth talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got My Big Fat Greek Wedding. It's directed by Joel Zwick, who is really famous for directing television pilots. He directed something like 21 television pilots, and they're all famous sitcoms you heard of before, whether it be Bosom Buddies or Full House, these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Which it makes perfect sense because the movies read like sitcoms.
Yeah.
Ironically, they made a sitcom based upon this movie and it fucking bombed.
Yeah.
But all right. This started as a one-woman show, a 45-minute monologue by Nia Vardalos. And it was part of the HBO Workshop series, I think, where HBO produced it and had her kind of tour it around. It was their like young filmmaker, young artist type deal that they had
okay.
for a
I
while.
didn't know that.
And it was workshopped at different locations around the country. And it was successful because Nia was smart enough to market it at Greek Orthodox churches.
Yeah.
Which, you know what, that's interesting because Medea became famous in the same kind of way. The Medea guy,
Tyler Perry.
yeah, he marketed his shit in like the African American communities and in the African American churches, and that's where they kind of developed following.
Yeah, he's centered in Atlanta too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so Rita Wilson discovered her. She saw it, she liked it. She's married to Tom Hanks, of course, and they have a production company, and they are the producers of this trilogy. Originally, the executives wanted a different ethnicity, which is like so Hollywood stupid, and they wanted to star Marissa Tomei, but I guess they were sort of overruled by Hanks and Rita.
Because they were probably like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah,
How can
why do
you
we like this in the first place?
just throw out the project and get something else?"
This was a huge sleeper hit that nobody expected to be a hit. It was a monster, okay? It's one of the most profitable films in history. It was made for $5 million and did $368 million worldwide, 241 in the United States. It was for a time, I think it's since been eclipsed, but it was the biggest rom-com film ever made.
Yeah.
Okay. Critical reception was great. It was very popular. It received an Academy Award nomination for Best Screenplay, which is outrageous to me.
Yes.
Okay,
It's fucking
I
great.
think it makes no sense, and I'm gonna come back to this a couple more times when we talk about this. But Nia is to me so much like Paul Hogan and the Crocodile Dundee trilogy. He was also nominated inexplicably for an Academy Award for Best Screenplay.
Yeah.
We're not talking about fucking Tarantino writing Pulp Fiction here.
Right,
These
right.
there's nothing to this writing at all.
No.
But it's got a heavy ethnic and cultural sort
It's
of
got a
angle.
hook, right?
It's got a
It's-
hook.
yeah.
It's Greek shit, it's Australian shit. And people hadn't seen it before and it was unique and we all kind of got behind it.
You can't tell me that she could have given that script to like a real writer
Right.
who could have made it 10 times better.
Exactly.
While keeping in all your Greek shit
Yep.
and just making it punchier, punching it up a little bit.
I know.
You know?
She's the biggest one-hit wonder since Paul Hogan. Paul Hogan is absolutely a one-hit wonder. He did nothing of note after Crocodile Dundee and then made 2 more movies.
Coasted on that for quite some time.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
Same exact thing here.
Yeah.
G'day, Big Dundee from Australia. How are you?
We're gonna kill you.
And that's My Big Fat Greek Wedding, kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah.
All right. We get to the second My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and she's coming off the failure of a movie she did called Life in Ruins, where she plays a tour guide in Greece. She's still, again, trying to capitalize on this
Right.
in any way she can. It was a movie starring Richard Dreyfuss and her. I saw it on a vacation in Mexico that I took in a tour bus going from one ruin in Mexico to another. It couldn't
Yeah.
have been more culturally
Really
incongruous.
ruined the whole trip.
It's like couldn't have been. I'm thinking of Mexican culture and the Aztecs, and all of a sudden I got Vardolos and Dreyfus talking about the Parthenon.
Yeah.
So that's where I saw it. It was shit. So she decided she's finally gonna create this sequel, which originally was gonna be set in Greece, the second one, but
Yeah.
it wound up being altered. And Jesus, it just got awful reviews. It was made for 18 million and only did 90 million worldwide, 59 in the United States. So it was popular enough that it made a profit.
Yeah.
But we're seeing a huge downward trend. Already people are like, wow, we don't want this anymore.
Right.
Its opening weekend, it was defeated by Batman versus Superman and Zootopia. I don't know how you feel about those two movies, but it can't be worse than you feel about this fucking movie.
No. I mean, Batman vs Superman's not fantastic, but and Zootopia is pretty cute.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
This is the final role of Michael Constantine, who plays the father. Okay.
Yeah.
He died after this, a couple of years after this. And this is the final time in which her real life husband, Ian Gomez, who plays Corbett's best friend, he's in one of these movies as well.
Right.
They got a divorce after this. And that's all I got about My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. Fuck it. Let's
Great.
go on to 3.
Let's keep moving.
Here's the third one. So she now gets to bring these people to Greece for a third film after having wanted it the second time around, all right? COVID delayed it. She directed it. It was shot in Athens and in Corfu. It got a major release, but it went to streaming 3 weeks later. But I mean, it opened in enough screens that it qualified for, our standards as a trilogy. I think it got 3,000 screens. They didn't give the exact numbers. It was made from between $10 and $20 million and did 39 globally and 28 in the United States. So it was not really successful. It opened third in the theaters after The Nun Part 2, and a trilogy, The Equalizer, Part 3. And it received even worse reviews than the third movie. People just hated it. Michael Constantine, right before he died, I said his last role was in the second one. I guess he was alive long enough to have heard about the third movie.
Yeah.
And Nia Vardalos is like, he gave us his blessing before he died and said, go and make the third movie.
My time has come. You must continue your journey without me.
That's it. That's information for these. Very easy one. There's not a lot of tales to tell. There's not a lot of trivia to give you, frankly.
Yeah.
It's very cut and dry. Scott, these are the actors that are in all of these movies, and this is a huge ensemble cast. This might be the biggest amount of actors that were in every single movie in a trilogy. Nia Vardalos. What she did was she took this movie and tried to capitalize upon the theme for her whole career. She did a movie called, I mentioned it before, My Life in Ruins, where she's a tour guide in Greece. She did a movie called I Hate Valentine's Day with John Corbett, again, trying to capitalize upon their relationship from this movie.
Yeah.
And it bombed. She was in Larry Crown, a Tom Hanks movie. She's a one-hit wonder, just trying to exploit the success she had with this trilogy unsuccessfully. It just hasn't worked for her.
Yeah.
All right. She did a bunch of television shows that no one cared about, was the host on the Great Holiday Baking Show. Yeah, that's basically her in a nutshell.
And I love it. Forever I will be Big Fat Greek Girl, and that's pretty great.
You got John Corbett, who plays the husband, okay? You might have seen him in Tombstone or Volcano. I don't remember him in these movies.
No.
Or maybe Prancer Returns, the sequel to Prancer. He had a couple of pretty big TV spots. He was on Sex and the City for a long time. Amy remembered him from that. And he was on United States versus Tara. Lainie Kazan.
Yeah.
She's basically a Broadway star. She was in Funny Girl, and she was in My Favorite Year, which she received a Tony nomination for, and was in the film as well, My Favorite Year. She's classically an example of like a talented stage star who can't really find her footing in film. So she's in like the Delta Force movie starring Chuck Norris, Harry and the Hendersons.
The Harry Henderson, she's like the kooky neighbor or whatever, like the nosy neighbor. Like, yeah, she's a character actress. Yeah, like
she's in Beaches, Geely, You Don't Mess with Zohan. She was in a terrible movie with Mark Wahlberg called The Big Hit, where she plays an incredibly stereotypical Jewish mother.
That's not a good movie.
It's terrible.
Jews know you're Jewish, Gentiles don't.
Well, they think I'm Greek. Everybody thinks I'm Greek.
Because of the...
But I'm Jewish to the bone.
You got Louis Mandylor, who plays the brother. He was in the movie Necessary Roughness. I remember him in that football movie starring Sinbad and Scott Bakula. He was also in The Dog That Saved Halloween.
That classic film.
Doom Annihilation, and the fucking terrible Rambo Last Blood film. Aunt Vula, she's played by Andrea Martin. Now, Andrea Martin is an SCTV star alongside, guys like John Candy and Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy. Like, she was a star from that period of time. She's done some pretty decent movies. Club Paradise, Inner Space.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Gypsy with Bette Midler. She was in a great movie, Wag the Dog. She had a small part in Wag the Dog. Great film. She's a trilogy superstar. Did a voice in the Rugrats trilogy.
Hey.
Yeah. And another trilogy, Night at the Museum. Gia Caritas, the sexy sister, I guess. She is a trilogy superstar. It seems the only movies she's done are other trilogies. She was in Strictly Ballroom, which is part of the Red Curtain trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in Austin Powers. She played a character named Robin Swallows.
My name is Robin Swallows.
Swallows. That's an interesting name.
Maiden name Spitz.
Well, which is it, baby? Spits or swallows?
Jerry Mendocino is Uncle Taki. He was also in The Big Hit, Hairspray, Saw 6.
Really?
And lots of TV. Joey Fatone, he's the ugly one from NSYNC. You know, he's the spiritual brother to Danny from the New Kids on the
Well,
Block.
there's also Chris Kirkpatrick, okay? I think that's what saves Joey Fatone from being the ugliest one.
Oh, you think that Chris Kirkpatrick
Chris
is uglier
Kirkpatrick,
than
I believe,
Fatone?
is the one who had the crazy, like, dreads and shit back in the day, and was always the one you looked at like, nobody wants that guy.
Really? I thought that was Fatone.
He got fat.
Really?
I distinctly remember like seeing Joey Fatone years after NSYNC had like broken up.
Yeah.
And like seeing him on TV. I'm like, holy shit, he got fat.
He got
that
fat.
dude. Like,
Remarkably, his lone film is a trilogy, making him a trilogy superstar. He's in the Trolls trilogy.
hey.
Davrula Logothetsis, who plays Aunt Athena, was in Nothing. Maria Vakratsis, she's another aunt. She's the one that goes to Greece in the third movie. She was in Tommy Boy.
That's the waitress he talks to. Right?
It is the waitress where he
Right?
does this whole bit with the waitress.
Yeah,
You're right. Jane Eastwood plays Mrs. White, who I think is one of the neighbors. She's a trilogy superstar. She was in the Care Bears movie as the voice of Birthday Bear.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember that particular Care Bear.
No.
He had a piece of cake on his stomach. I don't remember. She was in the Santa Claus trilogy as well. Peter Tharos, who plays Yanni. I think that's somebody's husband, maybe the sexy one's husband.
Yeah.
He was in Nothing of Note. Chrissy Paraskevopoulos is a cousin and was in a couple of ER episodes.
Oh, okay.
Catherine Haggis, an aunt, was in Nothing of Note.
Okay.
That is the cast of all the people that were in all of these films. Those are the actors. So that's going to take us to our breakdowns at this point in the podcast. As always, we kind of give you our little notes and details, things we thought were funny about each of the films. So we've got My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
May I please date your daughter? No! Okay.
When they got to the diner for the first time, it was reminiscent to me of that old SNL sketch where it's the Greek diner. I've seen this before.
Belushi, right?
Yeah, with Belushi, right?
Hello, Olympia Restaurant. You have to go for cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger. What to drink? Pepsi? No Coke. No orange. No grape. Pepsi. For Pepsi.
I think it's funny, just like everything is the most stereotypical name. Dancing Zorbas, like Zorba the Greek, everybody knows that.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
And then fucking Mount Olympus is the travel agency.
Yeah.
Aristotle dry cleaning or
Right,
something.
right.
Just so
Yeah.
obvious. Or Plato's or something
Yeah.
like that. Like all these movies do is just name drop the things that everybody knows
Yeah.
about Greece.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, philosophy, yes.
And again, this is fanatical. Maybe there's one or two families operating in Chicago like this, in Greek town, wherever it takes
Sure.
place. But I mean, this is fucking, it's a goof. But then when they have these dramatic, emotional moments and the music swells, you can't then expect me to think that's anything and be emotionally connected to it because you've been doing the fucking Naked Gun up until then. You know what I mean? With the
Yeah.
exaggerations and fucking craziness.
That's the thing with these movies. It's constantly dancing that line, right? Of
Right.
like slice of life, realness, sincerity, and then just shticky nonsense.
Exactly.
You know, like
you can't have fucking Frank Drebin and Naked Gun turn all of a sudden and give an emotional speech about what it's like to be a police officer.
Right,
You-
yeah.
You can't do it. There's that scene. She's working in the restaurant, and then like Nia walks out into the alley. The music swells, and the wind's blowing through her hair. She like looks off in the distance, and you expect fucking When You Wish Upon a Star to start playing.
Yeah.
Make a gyro.
Is he nice Greek boy?
I thought early on there was some decent physical comedy, though. I like the granny running around the yard and shit.
But by the second
You know.
movie, I feel like they're sticking her in like the
Now,
weirdest places.
it gets
but,
crazy.
like,
It gets crazy
yeah,
then.
I
They,
think
again, they ruin it. I like when Nia gets pulled down by her headset in the travel agency or whatever, when the guy's out in the window and she yanks herself down and falls.
Okay, a couple of notes about that. First of all, she wouldn't be yanked like that. The headset would have either pulled the phone off the
Yeah.
table or unplugged.
Good point.
There's no way it would have been yanked like that unless it was tethered to the wall somehow.
Her whole body
Makes no
weight.
sense.
Yeah.
Also in that scene, he's outside doing the cutesy, like waving, walking by, whatever, and she's like kind of like, ha ha ha. And then suddenly he bumps into an old woman who just beats the shit out of him.
I like that scene. I
on the
think that's
street,
funny.
and it cuts
She's
back to
beating
her
him.
And her expression has not changed at all. Like she's just kind of like, ha, 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 isn't that so sexy
And he's like,
and
stop!
cute?
This person's hurting me.
Oh my God, call the police.
You're hurting me.
She's just like, oh my God, he's dreamy. Like, help him. He's going to be murdered in front of the shop. Like,
that's, to me, that's the highlight of the movie.
right, yeah. It's all downhill from there.
His hairline really upsets me. It's really, it's he's got a huge forehead, and in the first movie, he also has long hair that at times almost looks like a mullet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
He
it
sweeps
really,
back and
it's really aggressive.
accentuates that
You
hairline.
know, I'm just saying, okay?
Calm down with your hairline.
Yeah, really, man.
You better hide that big ass forehead.
You know, they go on their first date. During that first dinner, all they're talking about is having dinner somewhere else. That's the entire, like almost the entire conversation is that, you know, this place, we should go there sometime. Okay, it's a date. You're on a date.
We're eating dinner
Do
now.
that now.
Yeah. But Ian's an idiot too, because if your girlfriend said to you something like Italian life, Italian people, Italian culture, would you be like, let's go to an Italian restaurant?
Right.
No.
Yeah, no. Oh, then you'd love this place.
Yeah.
Like, no, I eat it all the time.
That's all I eat. He sort of wears this clueless smile on his face throughout the whole film where he's like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a sum total of
This
his...
is the life I've chosen.
It's the sum total of his acting in this movie. I think the best scene in the movie is when his parents come over and meet them.
Yeah,
It reminded me of Susan's family in Seinfeld when they met the Costanzas, which is perfect because his mother looks just like Susan from fucking Seinfeld.
She doesn't look old enough to be his mother.
Not at
by the
all.
way.
Not at all.
Like,
But you know what? In that scene, the aunt, she's got the best thing in all three movies when she delivers that monologue about she has a twin in her body. And it's the best thing in all three movies.
Yeah. They keep trying to recreate that.
They force it in the second and third movies, but
that's-
here, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And inside the lump, he found teeth and a spinal column. Yes, inside the lump was my twin.
Yeah, and he gets the baptism. They do all the oils. She's like, you're all oily. And he's like, I'm Greek now. And I was like, is that supposed to be a joke about you're oily and Greek?
It's offensive.
Yeah, because it almost seems like it might have been accidental, but I was like, I don't know. There's been so many Greek jokes. I can't tell this. Are they not in response to each other? And I was kinda
It's like, you're disgusting. Well, I'm Greek now. Well, we're all disgusting.
I know. I was waiting
we're
for her
all
to-
gross here.
Like the whole family's are like, what the fuck, man? Like, we just invited you in.
Yeah.
We made you part of our religion.
no,
Like,
that's how you become a part of the family. You're like, I'm gross like you.
You're all oily.
I'm Greek now.
Hey, Ian, we're gonna kill you.
the bunt cake.
That's a pretty funny gag, I think. It's funny.
yeah.
It's not bad.
What is it?
It's a bunt.
A bun?
Bunt. Bonk. Bunt. 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 It's a cake.
Really? Is that foreign
I
to?
think it might be.
There's a
Movie-
hole in this cake.
They
like,
put a plant in it in the second movie, which is a pretty funny
Yeah,
gag,
yeah, it's pretty
frankly.
good,
It's pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The gags are so few and far between that you're like, oh, okay. You know?
By the time they come around, you're like, I'm just not even in the mood
I know,
anymore.
I know.
But
That's
I was
why
like,
I
that
say
was pretty good.
That's why I
but-
say the best part of the film was when his parents meet them, because you got a lot of pretty decent, funny things going on in that meeting.
But it seems like he doesn't really know his own parents at all. You would think it would be like a scene of him being like, let me prepare you
Right.
for what you're walking into, because
Right.
it was a bit of a clash for me.
Sure.
But I mean,
no, he
you know,
doesn't talk to him. He's like,
no, and he's
just
kind of like,
show
come
up.
on, this is great,
Yeah.
right? And they're like,
What? And then they have no culture. They're just white people.
yeah.
So, we're just a couple of white people?
I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. So do you want to go to the Gap?
Sure.
You have the scene, which is like, again, music swelling and sort of half realized. The old lady,
The old granny.
Baba Yaga or whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah.
She comes out and has like a box she's bringing to them, and she's been nothing but a lunatic, like the whole movie
For sure.
And she's coming like, and it's obviously this sweet, like, I'm giving you the tiara from,
Right.
you know, whatever. All I could think was she's gonna go like, ah. They open it, it's like, oh god, it's a box of her shit. Like, like yeah, she's mentally ill.
No,
like,
yeah,
she
she's
needs
got,
to be somewhere.
She's the one with the real problem.
Everyone's ignoring this problem. This woman, like, she's batty.
She
Like,
wants
she's-
to get out of here. She's sick.
As far as I'm concerned, your grandmother is brilliant.
Yeah, if she's so brilliant, how come she's sitting in our neighbor's car?
I can confirm that Greek Orthodox weddings are confusing and weird.
But is everyone spitting at people as they walk down the aisle?
I don't recall the spitting.
And they're not really spitting. In the
Orthodox
movie,
church.
they're going, tuh,
Yeah.
No one's really spitting.
Yeah, no.
So fucking either do it or don't. This what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Spit on her. Spit on the bitch.
Oh, you gotta give him that huck.
Spit
on that
bitch.
Right at the end, they have the like, oh, we give a gift. They bought us a house. Like, it's just so out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like, why?
Yeah.
I didn't think you guys had that much money.
Right.
Like, I understand you all have businesses, but you're all constantly working at them to keep them open.
Sure.
Right? Like, I feel like through all these movies, whenever it suits them, they have enough money.
Exactly.
And then when it suits the plot, they're poor.
I'm sorry. I'm a baby. I have no money.
All right, so that brings us to the breakdown of our second film, and that's going to be My Big Fat Greek Wedding Part 2.
The priest never signed the wedding license.
We're not married? I'm a hippie.
Let's knock down a couple of actors right now. Like I said, Michael Constantine, this is his last film. He's only in the first two movies, The Father. He was in The Hustler with Jackie Gleason, Paul Newman. It's a big movie for him.
Oh, nice.
He was also in Prancer. He was in The Juror, and he's the Gypsy King in Thinner.
Yes.
Which I happened to work at a movie theater during the time that came out. So I much to watch that movie 50 times.
Yeah.
And seeing him do the little decurse Thinner.
There you go.
You also have in this movie Rob Riggle, and he's a trilogy superstar. For a couple of movies. We know he was in The Hangover. He did a voice in Hotel Transylvania. He was in Dumb and Dumber. He seems to pop up everywhere, right?
Brothers.
Yeah.
Randy here is gonna eat your dick.
Like Kobayashi.
I've seen him do it. You've actually seen him eat a man's penis?
Early on in the movie, they show a personalized plate that says Opa on the back with an exclamation mark. I did the research. There's not one state in the country where you can put a punctuation mark on a personalized license plate.
Really?
Fucking liars.
The car's also going at like 2 miles an hour down the road.
Say, Lou, did you hear the one about the guy who couldn't afford personalized plates, so he went and changed his name to J3L2404?
Yeah, that's a good one.
The scene where these fanatics are storming the college fair, I feel embarrassed for her. I feel embarrassed myself when I'm watching it. Now we're getting to a point where these are places where the whole family would not go. This is not like an event.
Yeah.
It's like a period off at school where you just pop in there and like there's be no reason for them to be there.
Surely they have other things to be doing.
Right. They run a restaurant.
They run 3 businesses. When are they ever working? No wonder 2 of them closed.
Right. Granny's under the table giving food to everybody. What the fuck is going on here?
That's not what I thought you were going to say. Granny's under the table giving hand jobs
That's
to everybody.
right. And they take the granny character that was so funny in the first one, and in the second one, they really they ruin it. They make her into a caricature, and then suddenly they have a scene with her and Paris, and she like gives some wisdom to Paris about where Paris should go to school. And you're like, I'm supposed to take this old nut seriously now.
Right, yeah.
Paris is going to take a bitch who 5 minutes ago was in a store window pretending to be a mannequin and listen to her about where she go to college?
That you guys mostly ignore.
I know.
For all the movies. And then they even like, not to get too far ahead, but they end up having that nice scene where she gets the makeover.
Yeah.
Whatever, which I was like,
all right.
I liked the character enough, but I was like, but you didn't earn this.
And there's nothing more disgusting than the appearance of both Rita Wilson and John Stamos in this movie. Rita Wilson, because she's the producer and is Greek. John Stamos, because he's the most famous Greek actor probably in the world.
Yeah.
And they do nothing.
Absolutely
and have
nothing
to do. And they come into the diner, feel embarrassed about what they're seeing, and then somehow show up at the wedding at the end for some reason.
No idea.
It's like, hey, look at all the Greeks we could find that will be in our fucking movie. It's a real extravaganza.
And they're singing, but it's not really them singing.
It's meaningless.
Obviously, the studio was like, we need a big name to pull it in.
I
And
know.
The biggest name they get was John Stamos. I was really waiting at the third movie that Tom Hanks was going to show up and play like a waiter
You'd
or
think.
something.
You
like,
really think.
Hi, guys. Can I get you? Here's some menus.
Take off your pants, Greek boy.
Huh? You heard the man.
Take those pants off.
Dan and Oikos Greek yogurt. Fuel your pleasure.
No, please. Don't leave me alone with them.
Lainey Kazan's face goes through many mutilations in these films. In the second movie, she's had a crazy facelift.
Yeah.
And by the third movie, the facelift has fallen. Like, it's really bad.
It's so weird to like watch them all in a row. Between the first 2 movies, there's what, like 14 years in between them or something like that? And it's crazy because the first one, I'm like, I think she's too young for the father. And then her face catches up with him real quick in the second one. You end up looking like fucking Bruce Campbell's character in Escape from LA.
What are they? Surgical failures. Too many implants and facelifts over the years. Their muscles turn to jello.
I can't work with garbage like this.
Tula goes on a date with the husband, like to try and like rejuvenate their relationship in this movie. And I'm saying to myself, these people have no chemistry at all. I think they think they've got great chemistry, but it feels like a fucking brainstorming session that was never realized. They're like, they said, here's what we'll say in this scene, and then just kind of said it and didn't really make it work.
Yeah.
And then the music swells and we're expected to feel emotional about it. Fuck off.
Music's doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
Oh, it really is. The wedding planner is inserted in this movie only to react disgustedly to all the gaudy shit that these Greeks want. When she drops out, what are we gonna fucking do?
Yeah.
You know? And they line up the whole family in a series of rows, standing in front of fucking Nia and the husband. It's staged like a fucking high school play.
Yeah, right.
Until the aunt's like, we'll all help. Vardalos goes, you will? Really? What?
Duh.
I know.
Like, isn't that the point of these movies?
For fuck's sake.
Our family.
And that's the next scene. They're running down the street in jogging gear, like looking at wedding preparation stuff, and there's no buildup,
Like
and there's no end.
jazzercising, like-
I mean, the scene happened. It's a 20-second scene for absolutely nothing. For a trailer, it's for nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
There are so many scenes like that where like a scene will happen and you're like, what? Why?
I know.
Like, why did that even happen? The wedding planner drops out and they have all these people, like the neighbors react to them. They treat them like they're the fucking Addams family.
Yeah.
Right? Like that level of weirdness and like they don't have like a living hand that, you know, like, or a furry cousin. Like,
as many of you know, our name Portokalos has come from the Greek word portokali, which means orange.
It is a silly language. You should speak English.
And this is around the time where we get an incredibly uncomfortable scene between Paris and this dude at school.
she's going to ask him, obviously. She's looking at him. And then he goes to ask the other girl.
Yeah.
And then another guy comes out with a drum out of nowhere. And it's just like, why are you asking my girlfriend out?
Why are
It's
you
still not
asking my
much.
girlfriend to the prom? And she looks over and she's like, we started dating last week. Well,
Yeah. Right.
Oh, wow.
So it's possible he didn't know.
Yeah, what a lot. Well, there's so much weight behind your relationship. He should have fucking known. Like,
Yeah. And it's almost like they're waiting for like, who's she going to choose?
Yeah.
Well, we know now, right?
Yeah.
Like she's been dating that guy.
Right.
And she goes, yes, Clifford, I will go to prom with you. I'm like, his name is Clifford? Where
Come
is
on.
any child in the past 40, 50 years born named Clifford
And we're
besides
supposed
Martin
to,
Short?
Yeah,
Like,
we're supposed to think that's the cool guy
right. Yeah, his name is Clifford.
with the most half-assed sort of promposal that he does or
Right.
whatever. He's the cool one.
Little drummer boy
yeah,
over there.
no,
like,
he's the cool guy.
I hit a snare drum a couple of times. Want to go to prom? Like,
I'm definitely going with you, Clifford.
I'll give you. It was more than what that guy had.
Paris is happy to walk in and be like, "Can I be your second choice?"
Right.
Immediately, and the guy's like, "I guess so."
I thought she was like, I was a real strong woman today by asking her out. Like,
What?
really?
No, you were the opposite of that. You fucking were second. You know, you
Yeah.
played second fiddle. You were.
I mean, you weren't playing any.
leftovers.
I get you weren't playing any games. It's not like you're like, well, maybe he'll ask me. You just went and you're like, no, I want to go with
Yeah,
him.
I mean, I
Sure,
guess
can
so.
You know, but
in the context of the scene,
I don't know. Wait 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
Wait
Don't
till
do
everybody
it
leaves.
Directly after.
Wait till
that.
everybody
Yeah.
leaves so you don't look pathetic.
They didn't have enough time for there to be another scene.
I know.
Where,
I know.
Like where she observes that and then talks to
It's just
him.
pit,
like,
it just comes off as pitiful.
Yeah.
You want to go to prom with me?
Will you go to prom with me? Why are you asking my girlfriend to prom?
So who are you going to prom with?
Will you go to prom with me?
Sorry, what's your name?
It's around this time where they're preparing the wedding where Fatone comes out as gay to his family.
Yeah.
And everyone, they all accept it instantly when the whole last movie was about Nia Vardalos
Yes.
wanting to just be with a guy who wasn't Greek.
Yeah. I know.
What?
Yeah. What? You can't marry a non-Greek? Oh, you suck dick? That's fine.
Exactly.
Like, no problem.
I mean,
Like,
look, just be consistent.
I'm actually surprised that Dad didn't come in and take credit for the Greeks inventing gay sex.
The Greeks did
That-
do
but
have a history with,
Ancient Greeks
with gayness.
thought the highest
Yeah.
form of sex was man on man
Yeah.
because it's as close as you can get to God on God.
I
because
guess
they're
so.
better than women.
I'm not against gayness, but I'm saying in the world of breaking the norms, that's more of a breaking of the norm
You
than
would
just
think
dating
there
a
would have
guy.
been a line of that too, like where she like, we don't care that you're gay. Just make sure he's Greek. You
Yeah,
know, like,
exactly.
they don't even say that.
Exactly.
They don't give a shit.
Whatever the secret may be, it could be anything for that matter, but it's a tough thing to say, hey, listen, this is who I am and accept me.
Okay, so Scott, they're in the salon, right? And they're all giving sexual advice in the salon, right?
Yeah.
So the biggest part of their advice is on your wedding night, pretend that you're unconscious and assume your husband will just rape you. basically is
Yeah.
what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're all like nodding their heads. I pretended I was unconscious and just figured he would go
I
to
was
town on me.
traumatized by
Yeah,
it.
I just figured he would just realize what to do and fuck my unconscious body. And everyone's like, it's what you do in
man,
Greece.
he will know.
He will know.
He get this.
I mean, God.
That was the advice our mother gave us on our wedding. Yes, she said, if you're too nervous to do your duties, just pretend to faint and your husband will take it from there.
Run, bitch! Run!
Tell me why in the wedding buildup, when the limos don't arrive, the logical substitution is for cop cars to take them to the wedding. How about this?
Because they know a cop.
But how about just get in your car and drive there?
Yep.
Just a thought. It's not really an emergency.
Yeah, right. They left when they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Right? The cops came, they got it, and they're making it like, we got to get there. No one's pregnant.
No.
No one's dying.
Right.
Why are you chasing around town like this and cutting through lights? And it's ridiculous.
I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime. Pull out the stopper, let's have a whopper, but get me to the church on time.
I was just going to say at the reception, the husband brings up the thing that he brought up and was ignored about early in the movie, like our relationship.
Yeah.
And just one conversation resolves it. She's like, let's go on a vacation one day. And she's going to college. And they're like, well, great. Now we can have a real relationship with each other.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah. The problem was our
solved.
daughter.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They don't really ever come around to being like, it's a good idea that she goes away. They
Right.
just go, it's her decision. But it seems like the movie is leading toward them eventually going, maybe it is a good idea for her to get out of here and
Yeah.
go away. But they don't ever come to that.
But the point is, Nia, you've driven her to New York City. You've been so fucking idiotic with her, and the family has forced her into this.
Right.
If you hadn't been so heavy-handed, maybe she would have stayed. You created the conflict. You made it a problem with her.
Yeah.
So that's why it's kind of bullshit.
And it's
you
the
did
exact
it.
same thing your dad did to you in the first
Right.
movie.
So have you learned nothing, idiot?
Why do you want to leave me? Why do you want to leave me?
Payback. The only thing I have from the reception is it's post the prom, and the daughter and her boyfriend arrive, and the little kids run up to him. The little boys run up to him and attack him, and you're like, "I'm gonna kill you!" and attack him. They don't know him.
He doesn't know these
They've never
kids.
met these people
Yeah.
before. He fucking attacked him like he owed him money?
And we're led to believe, like in the Greek world, they'll just start jumping on anyone, just fighting with anyone.
I thought one of them was gonna pull a knife.
I know.
Cut you up like a nice gyro. I'm gonna slice it nice and thin.
Gyro.
All right, so that brings us to My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
My father passed away, and his last wish was for us to visit his childhood village. So, we're going to Greece.
Oh, yeah. They show pictures in the credits of this movie as if to remind us that we should like these people.
Yeah.
Well, look at all the cool things that have happened so far. Remember how funny they were?
Yeah.
How about you just put it in the movie?
Yeah. Look at all the laughs we've had.
Well, it's been quite an adventure.
And the
into
other
these-
pictures are food.
I know.
And like, yeah, that's all it's been
It's food.
shenanigans and food. The first picture is her dad. So my first thought was, oh, he died.
Yeah.
And the other dad, and you're like, oh, they both died.
Yeah.
So I honestly thought they started showing the other pictures. I'm like, did they all die? And it's the aunt. And I was like, oh no. And the mom. And I'm like, oh no. And then they're like, and the kid? Wait. I was like, we can wrap this movie up real quick. If they're all dead. Yeah.
A lot has happened since my big fat Greek wedding.
They're dead! They're all dead!
And so we expect that when they go to the airport, there will be all these antics on the plane.
Yeah.
Antics at the airport.
They just go to different locations and act like themselves.
I just hate these people now. I hate them.
Oh, yeah.
I've had enough. And the fucking poor steward, he's
Yeah.
like, sit, please, everyone just sit down.
I beg of you.
This is a very strict plane that I'm on. Welcome to Germany. Auf Wiedersehen, asshole.
They're driving past the cool shit in Greece. Am I going to see this? No. Am I going to see this? No. But then she stops so they can jump into the ocean and we can get a trailer shot because that's all that is.
Yeah.
And then they're just back on the road again. You know what? No one wants to be in wet clothes. There's no occasion in my life where I've just jumped into the water fully clothed and been like, now I'm going to go on with my day.
I'm wet! I'm wet! I'm hysterical and I'm wet!
When they've moved into the big house or whatever, the neighbors come and start bringing them gifts.
Yeah.
Right? Like they walk up and he bows.
I don't even understand that part.
This isn't Japan.
Why does he keep bowing?
I don't know. Like, just say thank you, you dummy. Like, why are you fucking... You can speak English to them.
And the people are kind of looking at him like, why are you bowing to me?
They're waiting for more because it looks like he's leaning down. Rule of 3 in comedy, 2 people come.
Yeah.
And there's no third because they know there's nothing more.
I know.
They're not going to build on it, so why even do a third one? So cut the whole thing.
You bow to no one.
The kids go to the club, which can't be close by. I don't know where the club is since they drove up a fucking mountain to get to the town.
He literally says, "Is like, is it close?" And she's no.
Paris goes to the club. Victory is dressed like a fucking imbecile. I get it. She's wacky and androgynous, does what she wants. Okay, they're at the club. They're dancing.
Also seems like she might be a little touched in the head. But,
really. But Paris, they have her begin to dance. She looks like fucking Elaine from Seinfeld, jerking her body.
The most awkward.
Like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And it's like, Paris, like you've been partying for a year in college. No one taught you how to fucking dance. You look like a clown.
Yeah, you really are your mother's daughter, aren't
I know.
you? Like, there's the awkwardness.
Be more awkward. Fuck's sake.
But I really enjoy dancing.
And that's not helping either.
And this is around the time in the movie where like the men stay in the village and the women go to the marketplace to like try and find out where the old men are, and they're just getting drunk. There's a solid 15 minutes where the men are just kind of like sitting around the village. Nothing happening at all. Just nothing happening. You got scenes where people are like learning about olives and sustainable farming and trees. I don't know. I literally
economic conditions.
I wrote down like I don't know. Olives, trees, sustainable farming. I don't know what this is about.
What am I watching?
Mayor's wearing a cape. I don't know what's happening here.
Is that a Greek flag?
Yeah, multiple capes, not just the Greek flag cape. Later on, she wears another cape.
Yeah, a lot of capes.
A lot of capes.
Yeah. But they're not, they don't look like, any of them look like they're meant to be capes.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Like took a tablecloth and wrapped it around her neck.
And we get back to yet another scene where Tula and Ian are standing there just bemoaning their lives. They're like, oh, we've never been on a vacation. So what they do is they're like, we're going to take a real vacation. In the course of a day, they go on a donkey ride and look at the scenery.
She's like, maybe we could vacation. Like, oh, good. And they go to run off. I thought it was code for they were going to go fuck.
Of course.
Like 100%. And then they're,
I know.
They actually did a thing. Oh.
Fuck, eat the bitch's pussy. Don't get on a donkey and act stupid.
That'll get...
It's the same thing.
Yeah, that'll spice your marriage back up. Eat her out. Come on.
I know. He's falling off a donkey in the next scene. Fuck off.
That's not going to make her love you.
It's not. Unless you bring the donkey into the bedroom.
Well, hey,
then,
now we're talking.
Donkey balls.
Yeehaw. Am I right?
You're right, Scott.
We can stay up late, swapping man in the morning. I'm making waffles.
This whole situation with the couple who's getting married, the son of the secret son,
right,
and the
Syrian refugee,
right. The younger kids know. The daughter and her boyfriend both know. They've gone out with them. And then there's a scene where like he leans over and gives her a sneaky kiss, real quick. Yeah. And the dumb brother happens to see it. So there's this like whole build up to it. Yes, and the toast to living your truth. And he just like, yeah, and well, hey, Christos and Karma are dating. What the fuck, man? Like, and the way he says it is so out of left field. It's so awkward. Yeah. It's not even funny.
We're supposed to think that Nia will accept the fact that she's got a brother she's never heard of, but no one can accept the possibility that this fucking kid's with a Syrian. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like the priorities of these people are really off in all these movies.
Yeah. You didn't even let time for that to land.
I know.
And then you're just going to reveal that?
And then literally 5 minutes later, everyone's like, well, we're okay with it. The mom's like, I'm fine with it. Everything's
I took a walk
fine.
and had some time to think.
Yeah, the music swelled. And whenever we hear the music swelling, we know that we've got to...
swelling, so I thought we got to wrap this up. And
then at that point, Paris is like, and I'm failing college.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? That's not the same thing.
Right.
It's not, you just fucked up, you asshole.
Yeah.
And the parents are like, well, we've got to let her go. She failed college. No, that's very different.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I failed you.
With Nia Vardalos directing, it's the only movie where John Corbett yells twice.
Yeah.
I feel like she must have pushed him, directed him to.
Really want you to. She's like, I really want you to, do something in these movies.
Anything.
As opposed to nothing at all.
Yeah. Hang out with a monk. You did all these things and you're still the least interesting character in the movie. Like,
I mean, Mr. Shoulder Shrug, like, oh, well.
Well, I mean, life's a funny riddle, you
For
know?
fuck's
like,
sake. You know what? It's perfect, though. He's the perfect fucking worthless high school principal. You know what I mean?
Yes,
We
yeah.
think of our high school principals as being fucking useless. I know that was my principal.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
kind of
He's
inoffensive.
a spineless fucking loser.
Yeah, right from the beginning of the movie, you think it's a reunion. You're being invited to a reunion. They get there, they find out not the case. That they are the only people who've responded.
Yep.
And there will be no reunion, essentially.
Right.
And then, like, everyone's running off to go do something. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with a monk that I met the other day. Why don't you come with me? Like, go to this thing." She's like, "I can't. I have to find my dad's friends." And I was waiting for him to just be like, "Let's just get a divorce."
Yeah.
Because seriously, like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, anything that I want to do, like, you've already been told. You're not going to find your dad's friends. They don't live around here.
Right.
So what are you going to do today?
What are you doing?
What are you going to, you're just going to walk down the street and ask, does anybody know fucking Gyros? Like,
Exactly.
No. The next scene is like, I got to find my dad's friends. And she walks over to her brother and her secret brother and sits down. And sits down next to him like, I thought you had to go find your dad's friends. You just blew your husband off.
She's just kind of sitting around and talking to her new brother, looking like Juan Valdez, the coffee king with his mustache.
Handpicked by Juan Valdez, the richest coffee in the world.
And then you have the scene where they go and lay the ashes, pouring ash into their hands.
They plant Dad beneath the spookiest tree I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The ashes creepily cascade off their hands.
Scariest lighting you've ever seen.
The ashes drop off their hands, and I'm like, and his ghost haunts them eternally.
You know, you're not traditionally supposed to play with the ashes before you just pour them out.
It's the fucking.
They're like pouring it from hand to hand. Like, that's got to be her most pretentious directing moment right there.
It really
that
is.
scene where I was
Yeah.
like, look at the lighting is like everything's dark except the hands
I know.
and this and that. And
It's like the Nightmare Before Christmas.
you don't even know who the characters
I
are at that
know.
point. You just see hands.
They're not supposed to play with the ashes like that.
Yeah, this is not a sandbox.
I know,
okay?
I know. It's horrifying. In the middle of the wedding, let's run off and do this.
Yeah.
Wait till morning. Wait till morning.
Let's not let anyone know we touched it with our hands.
Fucking wacky.
Yeah, dude,
and then they make a
Jesus.
point of saying, like, we'll bring the other half of the ashes back home to mom. And the brother's like, she won't know the fucking difference.
Right.
Because she's sick.
Yeah.
She's badly sick.
Oh no, I'm gonna rub it all over my hands and my face and my body. Dad, I miss you.
It's such a weird scene.
It's so bizarre.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I skipped that note.
It was just so
the scariest tree in Greece.
It's like David Lynch directed that one.
Yeah.
That one scene.
I know.
You know, like
You expect a fucking
hands.
You expect the headless horseman to run, come from the back, and throw a pumpkin at their fucking heads.
Yeah,
it's the
right?
scariest thing I've ever seen.
It so doesn't
Couldn't-
match the tone of the rest of the movie.
Of
You're like,
none of the movies of nothing that's
what
ever
am I
happened.
watching?
I know.
It's horrifying.
I know.
Like,
They're making love to those ashes.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
All right, look, at the end of the day, this movie is self-indulgent, manipulative garbage. Okay, a travelogue of Greece. The movies are so forcefully earnest. That's what they are. It's almost like they're saying to us, like, you're so dumb. You don't understand what's important in this world, but we do.
Yeah.
Well, fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I do.
Yeah.
Like, just because you went back to the homeland, like, I'm not an asshole.
Right.
And that's how they almost treat you in this film.
the only saving grace of it might be that they were in Greece, like where I felt like, well, at least that's different, right? Like,
At least we're doing this in a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But mostly, at the end of the day, it just wasn't funny.
No.
And the emotions seemed coerced.
It's fantastic. Number one, the best.
This was an exciting one for Phil because I believe we sent him to Greece for his assignment this time.
we did. We
Phil,
did
he's
indeed.
our field correspondent, and we always have a great assignment for him. And in this case, we sent him to Greece for quite an interesting mission.
Yeah.
So this should sound exciting.
Hey folks, Phil here, your field correspondent for the Trilogy Podcast. I'm currently walking up a gangplank about to embark on a high seas adventure. That's right. As part of my coverage for the My Big Fat Greek Wedding trilogy, I'm about to depart on a cruise to Greece. Forget the Greek wedding. For this trip, I'm focusing on the big fat part of the title, as I stuff every free area in my body with feta cheese like I'm made of phyllo dough. Philo dough. Anyway. Okay, here we go. We're boarding. Greece, here I come. Wow, look at this place. I don't really get the 50s decor, but I guess it has its charms.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grease Cruise. And as we pull away from the dock, we thought we'd kick things off with a dance contest.
That's weird. Maybe it's a cruise thing?
All right, Rydell High. We will have a judge walking around and picking out the best dancers. So, T-Birds, grab your pink ladies and show us your stuff.
Pink ladies? Why does that sound familiar? Oh no. This isn't a Grease cruise. This is a Grease cruise. Ah, man, Grease is the worst. The movie and the play. Not necessarily the country. I'm partially Greek. Ah, fuck, I gotta get off this boat. Excuse me. I need to get off. I need to disembark. I need to disembark the boat, please.
No can do. We have already begun to pull away from the dock. No turning back now.
Oh, well, it's still a cruise. I guess I can't play that irritating music constantly. It's only a few days. At least we'll be making stops along the way.
Okay, folks, we are on our way. And just a reminder, we will be playing music from the movie Grease nonstop over the course of our 14-day cruise that will be making stops at nowhere. Now, everybody, hand jive.
Fuck it, I'm jumping overboard. Oh, shit, that hurt. Water's a lot harder than you think. Well, shit. Oh, I'm being pulled under the boat.
All right, so Scott, this is going to be an easy one for me, okay, when we're ranking these movies. And maybe not easy because it's difficult to figure out which is worse, the second or the third movie.
It's a toss-up.
So, I mean, I guess I have to go 1, 2, 3, because as bad as I thought the second movie was, the third one almost felt insulting to me. You know what I mean? It was desperate.
Final gasp of My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
I know. The first movie had a couple of cute scenes, but again, was a fart in the wind, was really nothing.
Right.
The second one tried to capitalize on the success of the first one, and really, it was a bunch of stupid shit.
Yeah.
And they really cranked up the exaggeration of these people to the point where you were kind of embarrassed for everyone.
Yeah.
And the third one, in setting it in Greece, again, like you just said, desperation. I'm going to go absolutely unsuccessful. 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to say unsuccessful, obviously, because they went nowhere with the idea. And that's kind of the problem with ranking for me, is like they're all just as bad as the last one.
Yeah.
Because of that core problem of there's not enough honesty. In it. Like
That's a good word for this. Honesty. No honesty.
All the moments seem so hollow. So like when you get like a small snippet of a moment that feels real, it's like, ooh, that was really good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that good. It was just better than everything else you've seen. Weirdly, I honestly think the first one is like worse than the third one, I think.
Really?
I think so. They're all so bad.
Yeah.
They're all, to me, they're on the same level. So I think I'm just gonna gun to my head. I'll go 1, 3, 2 because I'll give one the credit for being the thing that it was culturally.
Sure.
And the third one wasn't that good. It was just, it gets an edge for me because it was in Greece, where I'm like, well, that's the logical
They're doing something
place
different.
to go. The problem is they shouldn't have gone with the wedding idea. The sequels, they should have just gone with the Greek idea.
Yeah,
Instead
My
of
Big Fat Greek
something.
Right.
Yes. My Big Fat Greek Vacation. My big, like, if you could do it like
the
fucking
TV
National
show.
Lampoon.
Yeah,
or Medea, even, like we talked about,
The TV
right?
show is My Big Fat Greek Life, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So, they could have done that.
It could be a different event. My Big Fat Greek Family Reunion.
And then we can try and construct some kind of different plot.
Yeah,
because
that's
then
different. You can keep the Greek family element, and you're not forced to do a wedding, because the only wedding that makes any sense is the first one.
Right.
When we did Hotel Transylvania, I liked the third one because they were like, let's get out of the hotel.
Yeah.
We're on a boat. Change the scenery and keep them the same, because
then the characters have
gimmick.
something new to react to.
Right, exactly.
All right, so you're going 1, 3, 2.
I think so, yeah.
Unsuccessful.
All
right, folks. Well, this was the Big Fat Greek Wedding Trilogy. Thank you so much for listening to the Trilogy Podcast. As always, I am Vin.
And I'm Scott.
And our goal in life is to analyze every single trilogy ever made. We're well on our way. We've got a great presence that's only getting bigger and bigger on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. We're everywhere. And if you want a little taste of what our analysis of trilogies and film is like, by all means.
And, I, at the end of this podcast, would just like to, wish everybody good luck and throw some luck on this podcast. So I'm just going to, if you don't mind, do it.
Scott, you're spitting. Stop spitting on me.
It's a good thing.
Scott, damn it. Stop.
Take my spit.
Stop.
I'm scaring the devil away.
Oh, God.
Something.
I'm all wet.
Ψέματα πολλά μοιάζουν σαν φούβη ταινία που δεν βλέπει